There's no theatrical nature to our presentation.
Hey, I listened to one of our podcasts that we did the other day.
Oh, like the old one?
Yeah.
I'm embarrassed about that one.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I just felt like I just didn't really come across how I wanted to come across it. I mean, like, I've never been put in that position before.
I listened to 2 minutes of it and I thought it was brilliant. I just put it on and I was like, fuck, this is really... We were talking about...
You know what I do think you should delete though?
What?
That footage of us at Palmy.
Yeah?
Me playing on the cajon?
Yeah.
Yeah, I want you to take that off the internet.
That is so funny.
It's not.
Really?
It's not very funny.
Don't you think? I think that's hilariously funny.
You weren't exactly, but you weren't in it. You were in that footage.
No, I was filming you and you were talking to me. I mean,
Yeah.
in all fairness, you were, every time I went somewhere with the camera, you'd be like, hey, Tommy, look at me, look what I'm doing. You were kind of really wanted that attention, so I put it on you and I thought you delivered brilliantly. What don't you like
Maybe
about
I'm
it?
backpedaling my enthusiasm.
But I mean, that's fair enough, you know, and certainly you can think about it in the future. But what I always thought, would be cool is to be a band that, you know, I'm not saying doesn't have any quality control or self-censorship, you know what I mean? I don't want us to come across that we're a bunch of Tourette's motherfuckers, but like that actually you portray yourself without, like, in terms of what you wear in photo shoots or in video clips, of course you brand yourselves and you do whatever, but in terms of actually what you say and how you express yourself, you just be honest, you know what I mean?
You know the last band that held that ideal? Metallica.
Anvil. Yeah, right.
Metallica. Do you really want to come across other guys from some kind of one?
But I don't think that everyone who
Basically, you're the Lars of the band.
What's that? I don't think everyone... What are you, James? You're the lead singer now. Is that what's happened? Motherfucker. What I think is that not every band that you go... Because basically the premise of Some Kind of Monster was you give the camera crew unlimited access. You know, they can be involved in everything.
They gave you motion sickness.
Not every band would come across like Metallica. Like, it's not a given that if you give the camera uncensored access to your psyche and emotions that you come across as a dick. Because I don't believe everyone is.
What's an example of a music documentary that's given the camera crew that power and it's come off scot-free, or at least in a positive light?
But this is my thing, man. I don't think that I should come across as always in a positive light, because I don't think I always am quick and articulate. You know what I mean? Like, if I come across as searching for a word or as not, failing to express my point, I don't think that undermines the mythology of Tommy and the Fallen Horses. You know, or the branding of Tommy and the Fallen Horses. I think that's endearing, you know.
Yeah, totally.
And so, I mean, I'll listen to the podcasts again, the ones that you don't like.
I haven't even heard them. I just remember not being happy.
Oh, well, yeah, well, listen to it. You might, who knows, you might like it.
Yeah, Tommy and Finn FM.
Yeah, Tommy, and we had 3 podcasts of it. But, I mean, I'll take that Fallen Horses thing off, because I don't think the whole thing is interesting enough on the whole.
We should think about how we edit it, though.
Yeah.
How we edit them. I don't know. Just like a little bit more old country-y.
Oh, okay.
Home movie. We could figure it out. We should sit on the editing session.
Oh, bro, that would help me. Yeah. I was just learning how to use
right.
iMovie, and
I
was so impressed. I was so impressed that I could even do anything. I was like,
do that box within a box.
Yeah. I was like, fuck, man, I'm a real pro. That's what I thought. I thought it looked really professional. But I would like your help. That would be awesome.
Just do a star wipe.
What's a star wipe?
It's when a star, like, trailing glitter goes across.
Oh, yeah. I've got that on iMovie too. Yeah,
man, we use that one for this.
For this? Oh, for this one here.
Yeah, wait.
So,
there we go. We're back.
We're back. So the one other thing I thought I should warn folks about, if they actually were to look at this and in any way use it to decide whether or not to see the film, I was going to call it Love Will Break Your Heart, but that's not what it is. Be Here to Love Me. Is that one thing about it, one not complaint I have, but one thing to be aware of, is that the documentary people who made the documentary obviously didn't have much funding, and it seems that they shot the whole thing mostly on videotape, or at the very most kind of digital, but before digital had high definition digital, and so the production value of it is really, really poor, and the only footage that looks any good is the old 70s footage, which is probably recorded on Hi8 or whatever, and so it doesn't look very good, you know, but which kind of adds to the aesthetic.
Townes Van Zandt-esque.
Yeah, it kind of adds to that kind of just cheesy, terrible era of home movies and bad clothes, which Townes Van Zandt kind of got lost in. You know, that's when he kind of became obscured. You know, like he was doing all right in the 70s, then the 80s came along, and he was well down the road to losing everything.
There was some intense home movies in there, like Halloween ones.
There was some intense shit. There was shit that looked like, is this actually a documentary about Townes Van Zandt, or is it about to turn into like an 80s horror movie circa, you know, Texas Chainsaw Massacre?
You've warmed. You've warmed. You've been warned.
You've warmed. You've warmed. You've been warmed. You've warmed. You've warmed. You've been warned.
Maybe this is why I want us to
Oh my god.
be uncut.
Oh no, I think we can cut this. I'm happy for us cutting this.
No, we shouldn't. We shouldn't, man. We gotta stay real.
Well, here's the thing, man. Here's the thing, and this is something I've often wondered. Like, you are to me one of the most intelligent people I know. I've always thought that, and your humour I just find hilarious. But at the same time, you keep up a wall around your humour in terms of like you sometimes won't let people into whether or not you're joking or not. Like you'll say, "Oh yeah, he's really boss," and then you'll say to you, "You don't really think that, do you?" And you go, "Oh no, I really, really like him." And then it's kind of like, well, were you being ironic or not? And that's what's hard to know. And so
I'm not into the whole sarcasm thing.
but I think you are. I think you fucking are.
No.
I think that's why I think you're so intelligent and funny, is because you're actually taking the piss behind this, you know, like you're saying, "Oh yeah, no, I genuinely think that person."
Like I'm an enigma.
You're an enigma. But here's what I wonder, is that sometimes I wonder if because you are such a funny jester, and because you, whether it's sarcastic or ironic or whatever you
Do you
want to
reckon
call
it's like
it,
a sad clown sort of thing?
the tears
I'm
of a clown,
yeah.
when no one's around, then just sits there weeping.
When no one's
Listening
around,
to Townes Van Zandt.
here come the tears of a clown.
Do you not know the song I'm referring to? I'm referring to a real song. It's a Smokey Robinson song. It's fucking
I
classic.
know the Kink song.
The tears of a clown.
When no one's around.
When there's no one around. It's a brilliant song.
I came up with it too just then.
You did, but you knew the lyrics, and
I
I'd
knew
set
the
the
tears of
tempo
a
and
clown.
melody.
I knew the tears of a clown part. I came up with the when there's no one around. Here come the tears of a clown.
No, I think I'd already told you when there's no one
You
around.
look back on it, but it looks like I.
We'll look back on it, but without editing and actually going and looking back, you can already comment on what we've just looked back on.
Why? I can already comment on my memory.
We can look back on it, but I think we'll,
I
we'll
think you'll
see.
find that I'm right. But what was your point?
Here's my point. You've seen the footage of you from Palmy, and you want to get rid of that. You have a memory of the last podcast we did, and you kind of think you're not happy with that. I wonder if you and you're taking the piss, or I think you're taking the piss. You might say you weren't taking the piss out of my idea of not censoring ourselves so much and being more authentic to our public rather than being more staged and kind of presenting a considered response or whatever. Like, put it this way, like I remember it was an actor I really like. I think it was Johnny Depp or Brad Pitt. Maybe it was George Clooney. Maybe it was even someone edgier and cooler. I don't know, but it was someone cool. And they went on Oprah Winfrey, right? And it was an actor who I really, really respected, who I thought was really, really good and probably imagined as being quite a charismatic person. And I saw him go on the Oprah Winfrey show. And it was like seeing the same man who I'd seen in brilliant films, playing brilliant, charismatic, cool characters. It was like seeing the same man castrated. He came on Oprah Winfrey and said very charming one-liners. It was like he was reading from a script, and him and Oprah were bantering back and forth. Now, I'm not proposing that the whole thing was scripted. I don't know if it was or not. But it was like, if it wasn't scripted, then it was just the persona that he puts on when he does interviews, where he's just like, I'm an all-American with, just this media training. And I've always seen that. And that wasn't the first example, but it was the most specific one where I just went, fuck, that is bullshit. And so I've never wanted to do that. I've never wanted to